player. Always have been. Well, I began playing as a young girl. Granted, I wasn't very good at it. I always ended up following the wrong leader and getting lost. Or accused of stalking. Well, one time I asked my neighbor Simon asked if I wanted to play doctor, and I said, "Mother, may I?" She said no, and I said, "But Mom, Simon says." What Simon didn't say was what he meant by doctor, so I played dodgeball, which turned into kickball, and Simon hit. Well, he went wham, wham, wham all the way home. Crazy as those times were, play has made me who I am today. And I'm not the only one who thinks play is important. Dr. Stuart Brown of the Baylor School of Medicine found 3 commonalities between the 26 convicted murderers he interviewed. They didn't play as children, they had abusive parents, and they killed people. The data clearly illustrates if we don't let kids play, they'll effing kill us. Or they'll just become deficient in all critical areas of life, and if you think about it, kind of the same thing. Despite its benefits, play in both children and adults has decreased, and in some cases, been eliminated. The fact is, we need more play, even if it is only with yourself. So you all don't have to time me with a calendar. I'll go ahead and summarize decades of definition debate to play is an activity outside of reality that's structured by the player or players, meaning y'all make the rules, and you choose to participate purely for enjoyment, like voting for a third-party candidate. Tag, you're all frozen, so sit still as I build a problems castle out of source citations, play hide and seek for those causes, and finally, Red Rover, some solutions right over. First, let's define the problem of a lack of play by examining the utility of play, including the consequences of its removal, and second, demonstrate decline. First, according to Michael Apter and John Kurz, the nature, function, and value of play. Play operates on both the individual and the social level. On the individual level, play leads to learning and self-actualization, creativity, and coping with stress. Well, luckily, Apple's got an app for stress. Actually, 69 of them counted. Socially, play aids in coping with change and maintaining internal stability. Now, these are benefits that transcend age, meaning they're applicable to both children and adults. But don't worry, we also recognize a lack of play when we see it, just like porn. According to the 2009 report from the Alliance for Childhood, children who don't play have poorer language and social skills. They are more aggressive, have lower levels of thinking, and less self-control. These kids already drink paste and pee their pants. Can you imagine if that got worse? Huggies would have to come out with a new line. Mommy, wow, I'm in high school now. A High-Scope Educational Research Institute study of impoverished at-risk children found that 3 times as many students who attended an instruction-based preschool as opposed to a play-based preschool had committed a felony by age 23. So either we let kids play duck, duck, goose in pre-K, or they play in prison where it's a different kind of goose. Second, play is being used less than a GOP yes vote. According to Reuters on October 29, 2009, 1/3 of American elementary schools don't have regularly scheduled recess, and 1/4 don't have any active free time. Now, according to the Associated Press of November 8, 2009, the amount of playtime in schools each week has decreased by 8 to 12 hours since the 1980s. People in the 1980s wore side ponytails with like giant scrunchies, and they still had enough sense to have play in schools. But additionally, Dr. Lee Martyr, in her book, Beyond Love and Work, Why Adults Need to Play, claims that many of us adults have just simply given up on play. And I haven't seen anything that wonderful given up since my boyfriend gave me up for Lent last month. Now let's find the monkey in the middle of our problems through a round of hide and seek for the causes. 1, 2, 99, 100, found them. They are educational and societal. First, let's peekaboo at our education system. Now, while the majority of American schools do not have recess every day, according to the USA Today of November 8, 2009, those same schools do have standardized tests and test prep every day. This article claims these unrealistic academic standards for youngsters are leading to not only behavioral problems, but academic failures. So let's see. The American education system is too effectively educating as Guantanamo Bay was to humanely punishing. But at least the inmates there got playtime, and they're only minimum life size. If children don't play now, they will appreciate it even less when they trade their Trapper Keepers for MacBooks and their Lisa Frank pens for Mont Blancs. But second, our societal concept of play is leading to its decline. According to the 2009 report titled The Intellectual Life of Online Play, it is much easier to admit play's importance for children than it is to accept its equal importance for teenagers and adults. The previously cited Beyond Love and Work claims that this double standard comes from the implied value judgments and the definitions of play. Play is frivolous, work is necessary. But work is obviously not necessary, as the Obama Peace Prize shows us. Or at least work and play need not be mutually exclusive. A playful state of mind can lead to clever solutions to work-related problems and a sense of well-being. Google, who Fortune named the #1 company to work for, gives its geeks ample opportunities and equipment for play because they have found it a key part of their productive work environment. Well, and it helps their employees make up for the whole years of being chosen last at anything but chess club thing. But now let's leave these problems and causes in the past and leapfrog into the future. Just kidding, skirt and heels. But we Our solutions are educational and personal. First, educational. American schools need play like Octomom needs to get her tubes tied. According to the New York Daily Journal, October 29, 2009, Harvard researcher Sarah Benjamin recommends 60 minutes of a structured physical activity and 60 minutes of active free play every day. Schools must adopt this program or one similar to it. But additionally, in the January 2010 edition of the Journal of Research in Childhood Education, they found that the majority of American teachers cited their collegiate education programs as having the biggest influence on their attitudes and beliefs towards play. A greater focus on play at the collegiate level could equip future teachers with play tactics that could be implemented despite curriculum constraints. But second, perfecting play gets personal. In a good way, not in a TSA body scan sort of way. We need to realize that work and play can be intertwined, and then play more. Luckily for us adults, the Scientific American Mind of February-March 2009 gives 3 ways that we can add play to our daily lives. 1, body play is engaging in a physical activity without an objective or time constraint. 2, object play is just creating something with your hands. 3, social play is engaging in a seemingly purposeless social activity, such as verbal jousting. And 4, play is what would come next if romance weren't dead. But if you aren't good at playing well with others, have more creative sex. No, but seriously, according to Sexual Interaction as Adult Play, Kurt P. Frey states that sex brings up a protective frame in which problems, deadlines, and tasks are set aside in a condom for problems, if you will, which is a common parameter to play. Expose yourself to provocative stimuli, break cultural taboos, incorporate narrative and play fantasies. Well, my favorite is naughty nurse meets international extemper in the prep room. Yum. Finally, author Sean Brotherson argues in his book, Encouraging the Growth and Development of Young Children, that many kids need a reason to be engaged in activities that will foster their physical development. Often the best motivation, he says, is simply to play with a parent or another adult. So volunteer at an after-school program, play with a sibling, or just chase some little kids around. You remember, it's catch and release. Today we hopscotched our way to becoming better players by examining the problems, causes, and solutions to our personal and societal decreases in play. Okay, so maybe Simon and I never did play doctor, but my boyfriend and I do now. No, but really, play actually does play a big part of my life, and it is a big part of who I am. And without it, children of all ages deprive themselves of all of its many benefits, including fun. But now that I've given you all of these solutions, we can all be true players, for real.